Hello everyone, and welcome back to Smart Pension UK. Before we dive into today's crucial topic, let me ask you something. Have you tried withdrawing cash from your bank recently, only to be asked unexpected questions? Or perhaps you've noticed your bank being more cautious about large withdrawals. If you're over 60, what I'm about to share today could directly impact how you access your own money. This isn't speculation or rumor. These are real changes happening right now across UK banks. And if you're not aware of them, you could face serious inconvenience or even have your transactions blocked. So stay with me for the next few minutes, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what these new rules are, why they've been introduced, and most importantly, how to navigate them without any hassle. Let me start by being completely transparent with you. Banks across the United Kingdom have implemented stricter withdrawal rules, and while these changes affect everyone, they have particular implications for those of us over 60. Now I know what you might be thinking. It's my money, why should there be rules about how I withdraw it? That's a fair question, and I'm going to explain exactly what's happening and why. The primary reason behind these new rules is the alarming rise in financial fraud targeting older adults. According to UK Finance, people over 60 lost over £400 million to scams in the past year alone. That's not a small number, it's a crisis. Banks are now legally required to take additional steps to protect customers, especially when large or unusual withdrawals are involved. While this might feel intrusive, the intention is genuinely protective. So what exactly are these new rules? Let me break them down for you clearly. First, if you're withdrawing more than a certain threshold, typically between £500 and £1,000 depending on your bank, you'll likely be asked additional questions. These aren't random questions. Bank staff are trained to look for signs that you might be under pressure, being scammed, or making a withdrawal that's out of character for you. They might ask what the money is for, whether you're buying something, or if someone has contacted you requesting payment. Now, I understand this can feel uncomfortable. Many people have told me they feel like they're being interrogated about their own money. But here's the important context. Banks are not trying to stop you from accessing your funds. They're fulfilling their legal duty of care. If they suspect you're being defrauded and they don't intervene, they can be held responsible. So these questions, while awkward, are actually a safety net. The second major change involves advance notice for large cash withdrawals. Many banks now require you to give between 24 to 48 hours notice if you want to withdraw large amounts of cash. Typically anything over £2,000. This isn't about restricting access. It's partly for security reasons, ensuring the branch has enough cash available. But it's also a cooling-off period designed to give you time to reconsider if you're being pressured into a hasty decision. Third, there are enhanced identification requirements. Even if you've been banking with the same institution for decades, you may now be asked to provide additional identification for certain transactions. This might include showing your passport or driver's license, providing proof of address, or answering security questions. Again, this is about preventing identity fraud and ensuring that the person making the withdrawal is genuinely you. Fourth, banks are increasingly monitoring transaction patterns. If your normal behavior is to withdraw maybe £100 or £200 weekly and suddenly you're withdrawing £5,000, that's going to trigger alerts in their system. Automated fraud detection systems will flag this as unusual activity, and you'll likely receive a phone call or be asked questions in branch. This isn't personal surveillance, it's pattern recognition, designed to catch fraudsters who've gained access to accounts. Let me share a real scenario to illustrate why these rules matter. Just last month, a 72-year-old woman in Manchester was about to withdraw £8,000 after receiving a call from someone claiming to be from HMRC, saying she owed back taxes and would be arrested if she didn't pay immediately. When she went to her bank to withdraw the money, the cashier noticed she seemed anxious and was rushing. They asked a few questions about what the money was for, and through gentle conversation, they realized she was being scammed. They stopped the transaction, reported it to Action Fraud, and saved her £8,000. Without these new protocols, that money would be gone forever. But I also want to acknowledge the legitimate concerns many of you have raised. What if you genuinely need a large amount of cash quickly? What if you're a private person who doesn't want to explain your financial decisions? What if the questions feel humiliating or intrusive? These are valid feelings, and I want to give you practical strategies for navigating these new rules while maintaining your dignity and access to your money. First, plan ahead whenever possible. If you know you'll need a substantial amount of cash for any reason, whether it's paying a tradesperson, making a private purchase, or any other legitimate reason, contact your bank in advance. Give them notice. Explain what you need and why. This removes the element of surprise and makes the process much smoother. Most banks have dedicated phone lines for arranging larger withdrawals, and the staff are generally very helpful when you're proactive. Second, be prepared to answer questions calmly and truthfully. Remember, the bank staff are not your enemies. They're doing their jobs and trying to protect you. If they ask what the money is for, give a straightforward answer. You don't need to provide every detail of your life, but a simple explanation like, "I'm paying for home renovations," or "I'm buying a car privately," is usually sufficient. If you genuinely feel the questions are too intrusive, you can politely say so, but staying calm and cooperative will get you through the process faster. Third, keep your identification documents up to date and accessible. Make sure your bank has your current address and contact details. If you've moved recently or changed your phone number, update your records. Having current identification readily available when you visit the bank will speed up any verification process. Fourth, consider alternative payment methods for large purchases. Bank transfers, particularly faster payments or CHAPS transfers, are not only more secure than carrying large amounts of cash, but they also create a clear paper trail that can protect you if something goes wrong. Many tradespeople and sellers actually prefer bank transfers these days because they're safer for them too. If someone is insisting you pay only in cash and becoming aggressive about it, that's actually a red flag that you might be dealing with a scam. Fifth, if you're making regular large withdrawals for legitimate reasons, such as business purposes, or if you're a market trader, talk to your bank about your needs. They can put notes on your account explaining your circumstances, which can make future transactions smoother. Some banks can also arrange for you to have higher withdrawal limits if there's a genuine business or personal need. Now, let me address something that many of you in the over-60s community have mentioned. There's a feeling that these rules are ageist, that they're treating older people as if they're not capable of managing their own finances. I want to acknowledge that concern because it's real and it matters. However, the data shows that people over 60 are disproportionately targeted by scammers. Precisely because they're statistically more likely to have savings, they're often more trusting, and they didn't grow up in the digital age where skepticism about unsolicited contact is second nature. What about online and telephone banking? These channels have also seen significant changes. Many banks have introduced additional verification steps when setting up new payees or making large transfers. You might receive a text message or phone call asking you to confirm a transaction. Some banks have implemented biometric security, such as fingerprint or facial recognition. If you're making a large transfer to a new recipient, you might be limited in how much you can send on the first transaction, with the full amount only becoming available after a cooling-off period. These digital protections are arguably even more important because online fraud has exploded. Scammers can create fake banking websites, send convincing emails that appear to be from your bank, or call you claiming to be from your bank's fraud department. The new rules around online and telephone banking are designed to create multiple barriers that genuine customers can easily pass, but fraudsters cannot. Here's my practical advice for online banking. Never click links in emails claiming to be from your bank. Always type your bank's web address directly into your browser. Never give your full PIN or password to anyone, even if they claim to be from your bank. Your bank will never ask for this. Set up transaction alerts so you receive a text or email every time money leaves your account. This way, if something unauthorized happens, you'll know immediately. Use strong, unique passwords for your banking apps and change them regularly. For those of you who prefer to do your banking in person at the branch, I know these changes might seem particularly disruptive. branch banking has already declined significantly in recent years, and now when you do visit, there are more questions and procedures. But I want to reassure you that branch staff are generally very understanding, especially with older customers. If you have mobility issues, if you're hard of hearing, or if you have any condition that makes these interactions more difficult, tell the staff. Most banks have trained their employees to make adjustments and accommodations. Let me also mention that some banks offer specialized services for vulnerable customers. If you're finding these changes particularly difficult to navigate, ask your bank if they have a vulnerable customer team or specialist support. Many banks now have dedicated staff who can help you manage your finances with additional support and patience. There's no shame in asking for help, and these services exist precisely for situations where the standard procedures might be challenging. Looking forward, are these rules likely to become even stricter? The honest answer is possibly yes. Financial fraud is evolving constantly. Scammers are becoming more sophisticated, using artificial intelligence, deepfake technology, and increasingly convincing social engineering tactics. As the threats evolve, banks will need to evolve their protections too. The regulatory environment is also tightening, with the government placing more responsibility on banks to protect customers from fraud. What can you do to protect yourself beyond following the bank's rules? Education is your best defense. Learn to recognize the common signs of scams. Be skeptical of unsolicited contact, whether it's by phone, email, or text. Remember that genuine organizations will never pressure you to make urgent financial decisions. They won't threaten you with arrest, account closure, or legal action if you don't pay immediately. They won't ask you to move money to a safe account or to help with a fraud investigation by withdrawing cash. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. If you're uncertain about any financial request or transaction, pause. Talk to a family member, a trusted friend, or contact your bank's official fraud helpline using a number you find independently, not one given to you by the person contacting you. Taking a few hours or even a day to think about a financial decision has never caused a genuine opportunity to disappear, but it has stopped countless scams. Stay informed about new scam techniques. Organizations like Action Fraud, Which, and Age UK regularly publish information about emerging scams. Share information with friends and family too. Many scams succeed because people feel embarrassed to admit they were almost caught out. But by sharing these stories, we protect each other. Before I wrap up, I want to emphasize something important. These new bank withdrawal rules, while sometimes inconvenient, are fundamentally about protection. They exist because too many people, particularly in the over-60s community, have lost devastating amounts of money to cruel and sophisticated scams. The banking industry, regulators, and law enforcement are trying to stem this tide of fraud. The rules might not be perfect, and they might sometimes feel overly cautious, but they're being implemented with good intentions. Your cooperation with these rules, while maintaining your rights and dignity, is part of a broader effort to make banking safer for everyone. By being patient, planning ahead, staying informed, and working constructively with your bank, you can navigate these changes smoothly while keeping your money secure. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you found this information helpful and that you now feel more confident about dealing with these new bank withdrawal rules. If this video has been useful to you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Smart Pension UK. We're here to help you navigate the complex world of finances, pensions, and your rights as you enjoy your retirement years. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos where we'll continue to bring you important updates and practical advice. Take care.